I'm on my way to one of the darkest places in the world.
That's uncomfortable. Yikes.
This is Massacre Rim, which is located in one of the least populated parts of the US.
My worst nightmare. I'm so uncomfortable.
It's going to take hours of driving on dirt and rock with no reception to get there.
I have to retrace my steps and take the gravel road the whole way.
And you might think that nothing lives out there.
Now I'm hearing coyotes too.
But there's a lot more to the desert than meets the eye. The nearest town and services are many hours away. So this adventure is not for the faint of heart.
Ooh, I don't like this part.
Why go? Only 17 dark sky sanctuaries exist in the whole entire world, and this is one of them. In a world increasingly dominated by light pollution, truly dark places are harder and harder to find. But total darkness is the necessary ingredient for seeing a full Milky Way full of stars. It's a humbling and beautiful experience, and to me, it feels like going back to my roots.
Okay, last gas for the rest of the trip, basically. I may pop back here before I head up to Massacre Rim. But for tonight, going to Soldier Meadows. I'm just gonna top up so that I'm totally good to go.
Gerlach, about 2 hours north of Reno, is kind of a place that time forgot. Like much of Nevada, this was once a mining town that is pretty much now just a few people who hang out in the desert. I mean, this is truly the Wild West.
I've got a little bit of paved road left. I'm going to stop into the Friends of Black Rock just to talk about my plan with them, make sure that I'm not doing anything really stupid. Apparently someone just got a flat tire on the road I'm about to go on, so that's a good start, strong start. So I am now on the playa. This is where Burning Man takes place. I never imagined it to be a place where you would come to like have fun outside of Burning Man. If you don't know Burning Man, it's classically thought of as a festival, but it's actually a city of 80,000 people that basically goes up for a week in the end of summer. And it's just full of art and really cool workshops and music. And now to be just driving across this playa in this way is so cool. It actually does become a lake in the winter. And so I'm hoping that it's completely dried out right now. They said it was at Friends of Black Rock, but this is freaking cool. Look at this. As far as I understand it, this is why it's called the Black Rock Desert. I think this is obsidian, this is volcanic landscape, I've been told, and all of this used to be under a big lake back in the day. And now it is a dusty ass desert. This part is a little, and this apparently will take me to the gravel road where someone got a flat. Hey friend! Oh, I'm sorry. I come in peace.
Deep in the desert near Soldier Meadows, apparently there's a BLM cabin that I'd heard about. I've never seen this on public land before, but it's basically open for anyone to use, so I had to check it out for myself.
Not much to it, but there's a few little treasures in here. There's a stove. There's food too. All the Spam you could want. Soap, that's nice. Somebody left gin. Wow, that was generous. Pretty cool. Boots. An axe. Wood to burn for your fire. And people have a little constellation drawings in here. Some beat up flags. Some nice lanterns. Some books.
The BLM cabin was definitely cool and the first time I've ever seen anything like this, so I made sure to leave my mark, but then I headed out to find a campsite because I, for one, love sleeping out in the wilderness.
I'm sorry. One thing I promised myself I would not do was forget my towel. What did I do? I forgot my towel.
absolutely not fancy. But when you're used to a backpacking tent, having a mattress, a real mattress in the back of a car that you don't have to set up, pull up, you have your bed, you can leave without having to do anything, it's pretty luxurious. It's so quiet and peaceful, and like, I haven't been somewhere this quiet in a very long time, and it's amazing. There's not even the sound of people, the sound of traffic. I can't even see anyone else. Oh my gosh, I hear a pack of coyotes. It's so beautiful. I love it. I love it in the desert. My hope was the clouds would clear so that I could see some stars. So I set my alarm, settled in for the night, and hoped for the best.
Can you believe it? I slept until 8:30, which feels just sinfully indulgent, having an almost 1-year-old at home. Of course, set my alarm periodically throughout the night to see if the clouds cleared and I could see stars. No luck last night, but fingers and toes crossed for tonight, when I will be in the darkest place on Earth. But now, it's coffee time.
It's been 2 years since I've done anything like this. Given I was pregnant and then raising a baby. It's just crazy because I've always thought it's so important to be by yourself as much as possible so that you really know who you are without anyone else's opinion or impact on you, because inevitably other people bring things out of you, good or bad. And that's why you have to be so careful who you hang out with. But if you just hang out alone, you've got to figure out what it is you care about, what you want. Being out here, really just nothing but your thoughts. It's such a wonderful thing. And I've missed it, so it feels good to be back. My evening had been quiet, peaceful, and bone dry, but little did I know things were a very different story elsewhere on my route back. Of course, I am wearing the same thing as yesterday. Thing about this area of the world is localized thunderstorms can materialize kind of out of nowhere, and you might not even have any idea, even though you're just 30 miles down the road like I was.
This part of the road is just mud and rock. So I look forward to the luxury of the gravel road again. Ooh, I don't like this part. Bruce, you are a tank.
My day's journey was likely to be a long one. I had to go all the way back to Gerlach, retracing my steps, and going back over the playa ideally in order to have a shorter route. Those are wild horses. I actually really enjoyed the first part of the drive when the road was better. And I was amazed to see that there was so much moisture and water out in what I thought was a dry, arid desert.
You on repeat, you
This is the part where the road is just bad. Just bad. Oh, playa, where are you? Not looking. I was so not looking forward to this part again. Yes, playa. I'm so happy to see you.
Once I pulled onto the playa, things started to seem a little bit weird to me. What had been bone dry before and was sending up a lot of dust behind me wasn't really reacting the same way today. Then I saw on the drone what I thought had been the light-colored dust from before was actually water. It was almost like a river had formed in the playa overnight. I was so confused because everything had been so dry all around me, but the playa looked really different. A little worried actually, because I took what looked like a more major entrance back onto the playa, and it's only like probably a mile beyond where I went yesterday, but this is water. I think this is dry enough that I'm on here, but that's uncomfortable. Yikes. People frequently get stuck all the way up to their axle on the playa, so I decided to retrace my steps. It was the only thing I could do.
I had been all excited to get to the playa because it was so nice to drive on yesterday, and now it's like my worst nightmare. I'm so uncomfortable. I hope that the tire situation doesn't completely screw me over all day long. It's gonna be okay. I think I'm getting back to where I entered, so I didn't go too far, thankfully, before I realized.
Thankfully, the rest of my time on the gravel road was all right. I had about an hour to go, and then finally I got to pavement.
Oh, the amount of joy I feel over crossing onto pavement right now cannot be understated. It's gonna be short-lived because I'm going back to gravel soon, but first to Gerlach.
Once I finally finished my drive to Gerlach, I topped up once again, cleaned off the windshield, and decided to stop by a couple of little things that I had passed by before on the way to Burning Man but never had the chance to enjoy.
You are dirty.
One is Guru Road, which is full of random art that is perfectly quirky, and it's honestly something I never had any idea was here before. Then I stopped by Planet X Pottery with a truly prolific artist before heading northward to one of the darkest places in the world, Massacre Rim.
I love when miles and miles and miles into the dirt road, they're like, road not regularly maintained, travel at your own risk. Thanks, guys. I got that sense. I got it.
Then I arrived at yet another BLM cabin. I can't believe there are so many of these out here, but this one was even bigger and better than the last. In fact, I was really confused. I wondered if it was somebody's house.
I think I've come to the cabin, but it's just so developed, it's a little weird. So I hope this is not someone's house. Okay, yeah, cabin's taken by two perfectly nice gentlemen, but I'm looking to be on my own tonight. Very kind of them to invite me to stay, but I think I'm gonna keep looking for other options.
After following a side dirt road, I finally found my camping spot, and I just loved that it was truly in the middle of nowhere.
I sincerely don't care what anyone says. Uggs are comfy, and I will love them forever.
Nothing to obstruct the sky. It was really just me, a bunch of sagebrush, and wildflowers. Oh, and these guys. So we have had a record rainfall year, but I have a sense that it's not just dry and barren around here most of the time. You've got wildflowers, you've got animals. Most of it is so remote you really don't have to share much. And it was challenging too. I have to say today was a little bit, it tested me in terms of getting here and having confidence to keep going and to have the good judgment of when to turn around and to not push it too far. I think that's another thing that you're always going to be doing in an environment like this. So it's actually cool to be a little bit challenged in that way and to develop the confidence from it too. So I was finally there at one of the darkest places in the world. And though I loved hanging out with the wildflowers and enjoying the beautiful sunset, I had to hold out some hope that it was all going to clear up so that I could eventually see the stars that I had came there for. You know, growing up as a kid in the burbs, I looked up at night and I used to love looking at the stars, and there were only maybe like 10 of them that I could actually see. Then I remember the first time I was already an adult that I saw a full sky of stars, and it almost looked like clouds to me, but it was not clouds, it was the Milky Way. It's just so many stars. You just can't help but feel so unbelievably humbled by that and so small and insignificant, and for me that is such an important feeling, to just kind of like let stuff go. We're here for the blink of an eye, why not just let it be easy and fun? Anyway, that's how looking at the stars makes me feel. And that's why it's so cool to be somewhere completely dark where you can actually see them. I'm gonna admit to you right now, there is a little bit of eeriness to sleeping all by yourself in the middle of nowhere. And I had to keep telling myself that the people at the BLM cabin were probably not serial murderers and that I was gonna be fine. But it all turned out completely perfect. When you think about being completely alone in the darkest place on earth, what do you feel? Excitement, fear, a little bit of both? Is it because it feels like there's nothing out there, or anything could be out there? For me, the more time I spend in places like this with their endless roads and possibilities, the more I want to be out here. It's never without its mishaps and inherent risks, but if I'm honest, that's part of what makes the middle of nowhere so enticing.